like to call the Harrisburg Planning Commission to order at approximately, what time do I have?
6:33.
6:33. Commissioners, you received your March 2023 meeting minutes in your packages. Are there any additions, corrections, changes? If not, I'd like to get a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Been moved and second for approval. Any changes or additions? All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Under other business, we have the introduction of a new commissioner, Mr. Deron Jordan. And he could take a few minutes and give us a synopsis of his background.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me here with you. I'll just give you a little bit of background on myself. I'm Deron Jordan, resident of Harrisburg City. I work at Michael Baker as a public transit project manager. And prior to that, I worked at Capital Area Transit planner and scheduler for 6 years. So very excited to be here with you all. Thanks.
Well, thank you, and welcome to you aboard the Harrisburg Planning Commission. One of the things that the Planning Commission does differently than the zoning board is we look at special receptions and variances, but we also consider the community. We use that community input in all our decisions, so we favor them a lot. And so I hope you're a long success on the board. The board members have been with me for several years and some have been for many years. We are a volunteer board. We do take it seriously. On most agenda items, I know just like the one on tonight, I went by the site just to see what it looked like. So we do our homework. So I'm very proud of this board. I don't know if any other member want to welcome Mr. Jordan or not. Oh, everybody did. Okay. Okay, we were happy to have you. Okay, under old business, this is a variance application for 1400 Sycamore Street. Is zone RM. It's filed by George Fernandez with Fernandez Realty Group, LLC. He's proposing to install a non-illuminated wall sign, 174 square feet in excess of the signage regulations for RM district. Yeah.
Yes, so the applicant is proposing to install a non-illuminated wall sign of 174 square feet in excess of the signage regulations for the RM district per section 7-325.6 of the zoning code. Wall signage in the RM district is limited to 4 square feet. Additionally, the proposed signage will be installed higher than permitted in the zoning regulations. The property at 1400 Sycamore Street is a 0.28 acre lot, which was previously 2 separate lots, which were consolidated as part of a lot consolidation and land development plan approved by City Council in spring 2022. The property is bounded by the properties at 1017 South 14th Street, 1411 Wayne Street to the north, 1410 Sycamore Street to the east, Sycamore Street to the south, and South 14th Street to the west. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved with the following conditions. The proposed signage will be limited to 50 square feet. This is the approximate area that the signage letters and 2 inches of kerning are between each letter, and that's just the spacing around the letter, would occupy if the words on the wall sign were stacked vertically next to each other, and thus represents the minimum deviation from the zoning code. The signage should be relocated further to the north on the western elevation and or lower on the building so as to be more visible to drivers approaching the site from the west along Sycamore Street. Bureau feels that signage no higher than the top of the second floor will be sufficient. The Planning Bureau recommends that the identification signage above the main entrance be revised to be in conformance with section 7-325.8A6 of the zoning code dealing with identification signs. And that basically exempts signs from permits for things like building numbers and building names if they're 4 square feet. The Planning Bureau staff recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. Proposed signage is designed in such a way so as to maximize the square footage as opposed to being designed to conform as closely as possible to the zoning code. The proposed location will be obscured by street trees. As such, the Planning Bureau feels that the signage can be resized and relocated to be more in conformance with the zoning code. Proposed signage is advertised in a conspicuous building on a neighborhood street with relatively low traffic and low speeds. Proposed signage size and height is more appropriate for a high-speed, high-traffic context and does not represent the minimum deviation necessary to afford relief at this site. Given the property is located across the street from a school and in an area of industrial truck traffic, it is reasonable to authorize signage larger than permitted by the zoning code so as to be seen by passersby without having to take their eyes off the road. And finally, the proposed signage is located such that it does not directly face any other structures, specifically residential properties, and is not illuminated. Thus, potential adverse impacts will be negligible.
Thank you, staff. Could you state your name, your address, and your relationship to the project?
Yes, my name is Lauren McDaniel. I'm an employee of Steelworks Construction, located at 430 North Front Street in Wormleysburg. In attendance with me this evening is Mr. Jonathan Bowser, also with Steelworks Construction. We are representing Fernandez Realty Group, which is located at 4211 Elmerton Avenue in Harrisburg. Fernandez Realty Group is the owner of the property and applicant. We're here tonight seeking your recommendation for the approval of a request for relief from zoning section 7-325 relative to signs. I won't go into extensive detail on the property as Mr. Knight described it in detail.
Before you go further, are you acceptable of the conditions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. We had originally submitted the variance application with the opinion that the large trees along Sycamore Street would impair visibility of the sign. For that reason, we designed a signage plan that was developed to depict a sign that was larger and placed higher on the building than permitted by right, and which included an additional sign, which we believed would increase visibility and would more properly identify the proposed multifamily dwelling in a manner consistent with the applicant's desired aesthetic. But we are in agreement that a 50-foot sign would be more appropriate, a 50 square foot sign would be more appropriate. And we are in agreement with all of those conditions and would accept them.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioners, I have no questions at this time. It seems to be pretty straightforward. But if you have any questions or concerns, Commissioner McKenzie?
No questions. I think it sounds like staff's already worked through it.
Commissioner Reed? Commissioner Green?
Yes, I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Merrick?
Nope, no questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Jordan?
No questions. Thank you.
Is there, I'll go to the public. Is there anyone in the public for or against this project? If you are, please state your name and address. Start with the center. One to my right. So with that, commissioners, unless you have any other questions, I'd like to get a motion.
Motion to approve with conditions.
Second.
It's been moved and second for approval with conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Sorry to bring you down for I should know Jonathan would have everything clear. Is there any other business?
I would just like to introduce the board to Emily Farron, who is an attorney in our office, who is going to be your attorney going forward. I have told her that this is about the average length of a meeting for the commission. And they're, they'll all be quick nights, yes. So
Don't let him fool you. This is exception to the rule.
I think I know when he's joking. Usually.
Welcome aboard. Who are the two young ladies in the back?
At a local planning and engineering firm. We're just observing local planners interested
Oh.
We work at the same firm.
Yeah, they're being a little modest. These are my team members.
Great, we support it. Well, at least we got the easy meeting. Normally, we average 2 or 3 hours, so.
Yeah, he might need you back here next
If
month.
you want to, yeah, it won't be here. Is anything good for the good of the order? Commissioners, is there a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we'll stay here. It's moved in second. We stand adjourned. Thank you.